Don't say goodbye, girl. And take a look inside and read my mind, girl. Everything I do for you. Man. Great song by Tevin Campbell. And, basically it's talking about how, you got a girl, you don't want her to leave you. You don't want to be without her and all this other kind of stuff. And, I remember being in that situation before, as I'm sure many of you do. You sit on the phone and, you try to argue, you try to sway the points to yours where you're like, no, but if you just such and such and such and such, if you just do this, if you just do that. And not saying that it doesn't happen as you get older, especially, if you're still single or if you're unmarried and kind of in the world. But what it does is that it has a different effect on you. It has a different effect where you look at the world, you look at dating out of a different lens, even as a man. Because, you'll hear a lot of times ladies talk about how, it's difficult dating and just different stuff like that. And I know my cousin Kev and some other people I've heard say before, yeah, the dating pool is pissing the dating pool and all this other kind of stuff. And what it is, to me is that there's a lot of miscommunication. There's a lot of misinterpretation. It's a lot of just dishonesty. And not saying that I've always been the most honest person, but I've always tried to be, and what I mean by honest person as far as dating is concerned, but what I've always tried to be was a good person, a decent person when it comes down to dating someone. So when you have a situation where it's like you meet people and they and to be honest with you, you may really be vibing with them for a while. And, then to come to find out, well, they really got this going on, or they got that going on, or, all of the kids came back home to live. And so, like the timing and spacing for you just may not really be there. And you start to say to yourself, well, dag, when I was younger, I used to worry about just making sure, she was still my girl. She wasn't cheating on me. That, she always looked nice when we went out. Right? You ever do that? You ever date somebody and you be hyped because you're like, yo, I cannot wait to see when she comes out of the house, what she is going to have on. I know she's going to be killing her. I can't wait to see it. And so I think back to some of these things because it's crazy how, like, now in contrast, there's certain things that, even when I was younger, and believe me, I know things are supposed to change from when you're younger and older, but I just had this assumption that things would get better. Like things would be cooler. Like I'd get a better selection of greater women. And it's one of those deals where I've been to different cities. I've gone to different places, tried cigar bars, met some amazing people. But a lot of these amazing people still have other things going on that a lot of times they won't tell you about. They won't divulge that information to you. As the same as a lot of times we don't. So I wish it could be one of those things where I just should say, please, girl, don't say goodbye. Don't leave me. Now I got to say, well, how long is your adult kid going to live with you if they do live with you? How long is this going to be the arrangement where, you still, living with your aunt or somebody like that? Like, can I come over and get some eggs and something cooked for me or anything like that? How long is this arrangement going to be? And for some people, listen, I get it. That's what they have to do. That's what they have to do. You know, hey, because look, I've lived in the family house for years, so you know, I'm not knocking anybody that's doing that stuff. But what I'm saying is the criteria in my mind, and I'm sure a lot of other guys out there that may be single, thinking like, wow, I just thought, you know, things might be just a little bit different, you know, because I was just waiting to say I haven't had anybody. Have I had anybody in the last? Well, I think I may have had a couple of ones I wanted to say don't say goodbye, girl, to. But the thing is that now, in a sense, it's easier to say goodbye because you really start to look and see that, yo, some of these people really got some stuff with them, yo. They really do. And, you know, it's not just surface level stuff like, you know, maybe they don't have a car, or, you know, maybe their credit is a little jacked up. It's deeper stuff. It's emotional stuff that between, you know, ex-husbands, baby dads, ex-boyfriends, abusive situations. You know, there are a lot of things going on that just make it very, very different to date nowadays. And it's almost turned to me sometimes where I'd be like, goodbye, girl. The hell with the don't. Just goodbye. Because I've talked about this also before. Being a good guy, I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything, but as you get a little older, I find that it means a lot less. I find that it doesn't ensure commitment. It doesn't ensure greatness. It doesn't ensure integrity. It doesn't ensure you're going to have a person that's in your life that is going to be, for the most part, because we all got our stuff with us, but for the most part, a stand-up sister. It's going to be rough. Because when you're a lot of times when you're a nice guy, and you know if you're a nice guy or not, because a lot of times the girl that F's you over will tell you, you're such a nice guy. And so over the years, it's made me a lot more jaded, a lot more guarded, and saying, not that I'm going to be a bad guy, because, you know, you are who you are, player. But I'm more of a no nonsense guy. So I'm going to be nice until you show me the nonsense. And then we're going to step. Because none of us need to be in a situation where we're dealing with people that don't value us. Dealing with people who take your goodness, or if you want to say kindness, for weakness. That's not where we want to be. That's not where I want to be. That's not where I'm going to be. So I'm saying that because, like I said, I used to miss saying don't say goodbye, girl, because of something dumb I did. A lot of times, or something dumb that I started. And, you know, hey, maybe things are just coming full circle. Maybe that's the way it is. You know, when you're a young boy, you act like a jerk, do jerk stuff. So as you get older, it comes back to you. Maybe that's cool. Maybe that's what it is. But overall, even when I was young and when it was kind of a jerk, I was still a good person. I was still a decent person. I was still a gentleman. Yeah, okay, you know what I mean? I know you don't came over and play games with me, but that's okay, because, you know, 25 years ago, they didn't have any Uber. That's okay. Let me show you to the next bus stop. Nah. I may not call you again, but I was dropping you off where I picked you up at. I was still holding the door for you. Was I rewarded for that somewhere down the line? Who knows? But I was still being a gentleman. Do we get rewarded for being a nice guy? I don't know. Maybe we do. But what I do know is that, like I said before, it's not guaranteeing us a nice person on the other side. Because you know how it is. People, they could tell you anything. Hey, I'm this. Hey, I'm that. You know, they'll even tell you, I love you. You're the apple of my eye. I've just been so enamored by you. And then some time will go past, and guess what you are? Especially if they think that you're annoying them. Guess what you are? Now all you are is back in the pot of gumbo with everybody else. You know, you don't get the top tier treatment. You don't get to just be out and hang out with them. No, you get thrown back in the pot. Like a lobster. You know what I mean? At first, you know, they like to sit and look at you. Oh, you cool. Oh, you know what? You know how Eddie Murphy used to say back in the day, Larry the Lobster. They ain't gonna kill the lobster. We gonna let him. But because he's so cool, he's so cute, he's not bothering anybody else. But then they throw you back into the tank because now they're hungry. So they throw you back and they got a feast. So instead of them cherishing you as the dope person, as the decent person that you are, now all you are is an afterthought. And as we all know, being an afterthought sucks. But as I get older, and these beautiful ages and with these fives in front of them, you know what I do? I say, I don't give a you know what. In my mind, in my heart somewhere, do I hurt a little bit? Yeah, because I'm still human. But unlike when I was younger and I would say, don't say goodbye, girl, where things would keep me a little lethargic. I felt like I had to drink or something else to feel a little better. Now, you know what I do? Just like I told you before. Next. And yeah, I might still be a little hurt from somebody or some people. But guess what it's not going to do anymore? It's not going to hold me down. It's not going to keep me from thinking, hey, look, that next one, she might be the one. She might be the one that don't live with everybody under the sun. She might be the one who ain't smashed everybody under the sun. So I'll keep hoping, keep looking, keep praying. And if you happen to be in that type of situation, hey, look, as long as you stay active, it's going to happen for you. Because that's the thing. You know how a lot of times women be like, the Lord, somebody's going to bring me a good man. No, you got to be active. So if you're not out there, if you're not active, and you do want somebody that's decent or somebody's, you know what I mean? Get out there and be active. Stay active. Remember, like being a young boy, you would sit, you would count how many numbers you got when you went out. But as you get older, you realize the numbers ain't nothing but 10 digits. Because a lot of times, if there's no integrity behind it, if you don't get blocked, or if, you know, because of technology, they answer the phone. It's not the same before. Because when you were young, remember when a girl gave you her number, yo, you felt in your mind and heart, I got a shot. If I got 10 numbers, you know, going out or whatever, I said, all right, at least I get baseball numbers, at least 3, 4 of them, you know what I'm saying, it was a go. It would be something worthwhile. But now, I ain't gonna hold you. Even if you get a bunch of numbers or I get it. Listen, a lot of times I don't even call. And it's not because I think I'm somebody, but it's because I don't want to deal with that somebody and the possibilities of what I told you before. Lack of integrity, lack of this, lack of that. A lack of not knowing how to treat a man, how to at least treat a man like a whole grown man in a decent way. So if you're out there and you have you're out there dating, and hey, look, for some of us it goes great. Like some months I'd be like, yo, this month is going too well, right? And we had those times. But who and what are we looking for? Especially by the time you get a certain age. And like I always say, 35 and up, if you're unmarried, what are you looking for? What do you want to see? Because I know for me, I'd like to be in a situation where I'd say, again, except in a positive way, don't say goodbye, girl. Because I want her to stay with me for the rest of my life. So tell me what you think, how you feel. And make sure you share this, like, comment, subscribe, or whatever. And hey, you know the routine. Live life. Don't let life live you.